Hey traders, Jason here from Leavitt Brothers. In today's video, I'm going to show some charts from around the world. We know the US is doing great. All the indexes are near their all-time highs. But how's the rest of the world doing? Asia, Europe, parts of the Americas, are they experiencing the same gains? Let's check them out. Before I get started, quick announcement. My Masterclass in trading is now live. I'll be doing a more formal announcement over the weekend, but for those interested in getting a jump start, it's available at a link below. All right, let's get started here. Okay. What the? Okay, here is the S&P monthly chart going back about 7 years. You can't be anything but bullish here. These are with Bollinger Bands, pushed against the upper band, kind of rotated down, pushed against the upper band, tested the lower band, got above the middle band and just pressed higher. This was the virus. Okay, so basically found support at the lower band except for just a brief couple of days here. And now it's pressing against the upper band. Okay, you cannot be anything but bullish. You cannot be anything but long here. Yes, you can argue that we're getting a little extended. You could look at 3 consecutive closes out, to the top side of the upper band. You could question whether this is sustainable. All those are valid arguments. You could trail all positions with tight stops. That's fine. But I see absolutely no reason to try and guess a top, and I see no reason to go short. Okay, if the market falls, and it will fall eventually, okay, it's just a matter of time, I'll get out of positions. I'm not going to go short because I find when I go short, then I start rooting for the downside, and then when the market finds a bottom and bounces, instead of getting very long, which is what you should do, I tend to argue and negotiate and debate and one more move down and blah, blah, blah. I would rather step aside, let the market fall, and when the market bounces, I'll be there with cash ready to buy. Okay, so I'm long, stops in place. I'm going to keep riding this thing as much as I can, and when it rotates down, fine, I'll get out and I'll sit and wait for a good buying opportunity. Okay, I have no interest in going short right now. So that's the US, but how is the rest of the world doing? Here is the global Dow chart. You can see from the little graphic on the left here, it's 42% the US, 10% Japan, 8% Great Britain, 7% France, 5% Germany. I have no idea why they do that, those percentages, but that's what it is. What I see here is I see an uptrend followed by pretty much 3 years of consolidation. Okay, you can draw it however you want. We had a little bit of a dip down here. The virus caused panic selling and then a quick recovery, but we essentially have 3 entire years of consolidation and now a new breakout. Okay, so the combination of rally, consolidation, and then breakout tells me that this over here, despite being a big move, a vertical move that you can argue is getting kind of extended in the near term, I consider it closer to the beginning of a move than the end. Okay, so if you got 2-year run here, 3-year consolidation pattern, I'm looking for a run that goes at least a year, probably 2 years. Okay, is this getting extended? Yeah, you can argue that it is. When is it going to turn around and rotate down? I have no idea. At some point in time, it'll pull back and dip, but I'm betting that whatever pullback plays out, whenever it plays out, it's going to get bought and we're going to move up to new highs. I'm viewing this again as closer to the beginning of a move than the end of a move. All right, so let's dig in a little bit. Let's go to individual countries. Here is China. Okay, so for many years, we're talking like more than 10 years here, other than 2015 where it went straight up and straight down, it is traded in a base for more than 10 years, and check this out, it just recently broke out to a new high. Okay, not a surprise. There's a lot of good stuff going on in China, electric vehicles and drones and a lot of technology stuff, as well as some of their older tech plays that are doing fine. So I consider this huge base, fresh breakout, I'm not gonna say the sky's the limit, but like, China, I'm also not gonna predict that this thing's gonna go like vertical like it did here, or vertical like it did here. But when you have a big base and a fresh breakout, you are much closer to the beginning of a move than the end of a move. Unless this thing fails, okay, unless this thing kind of pushes up and then immediately fails and comes back into the range, you got to consider this like the beginning, not the end of what's going to happen over the next couple of years. Here's Japan. Okay, it based for a while. It broke out to a new high in 2017. It didn't go very far. It traded in a range. After breaking out to a new high, it traded in a range for about 3 years. And then check this out. Late last year, it broke out to a new high. So again, like the world chart, and this kind of matches the world chart. You have a move up, you have consolidation, and now we have a fresh breakout to a new high. This, to me, is the beginning of the move, not the end of the move. Yes, this is kind of getting extended. Yes, you can argue that we're going to pull back at some point in time, but that pullback, to me, is going to be a great buying opportunity, not a reason to panic and go short. Moving on in Asia, we have South Korea, another big tech play. Big base here, going back many, many years. The virus hit it hard, as you can see, but it recovered quickly, consolidated here, and now again broke out to a new high. So we have a multi-year base. We have a forceful breakout. Again, in terms of time, this is probably closer to the beginning of the move than the end of the move. How high can this go? I have no idea, but I'm only interested in being long. And if the market corrects, which it will eventually, that's fine. Step aside, look for a buying opportunity, because you'll make a heck of a lot more going long on whatever bounce follows than you will going short. Okay, moving over to Europe. Here's Germany. Not exactly rip, roar, and rally, but we are at a new high. Okay, not bad. Although you can argue that, hey, even though we're at a new high, we're like not that much different than in late 2017. Okay, and I'll buy that. Okay, it doesn't look, traditionally it doesn't move that quickly. Okay, there's a lot of, the trend is like up here, but there's like a lot of up and down motion. So you got like, up a bunch and then give back like 90%, up a bunch and give back like 80%, and over time it does fine. But nevertheless, we have new highs here for Germany. France is lagging a little bit. Okay, we got not quite at the high, so we got a little bit of a weakness in France. And then the UK is the same thing. We got even more weakness in the UK. Okay, so Asia doing great. China breaking out to a new high, Japan a new high, South Korea a new high, moving over to Europe. Germany is at a new high, although not like rip, roaring, rally new high. It's just at a new high. The UK and France are lagging some. Okay, so Asia is much stronger than Europe. Moving over, here's Russia. Big base. Boom. Okay, broke out late 2019. Unfortunately, the timing was bad because then the virus hit 2 months later. Got crushed. It took a while to recover, but now Russia is just ticked a new high going back. It's the highest level since 2011. So it's basically, it's almost a 10-year high. So that's good to see. Moving over to the Americas, here's Brazil. Okay, over here, they did not suffer from the Olympics. Okay, the Olympics, I'm not going to say it helped them, but it didn't hurt them, as the Olympics tend to do to most countries. Brazil based for many years, broke out, as you can see, has done very well. It back tested the resistance there and did really well. New high here, got crushed during the virus, but has recovered and is close to a new high. Canada, doing well overall, but man, these moves are, I don't know how, those are tough to take, some big moves like that. It's not just the virus. They are, they have a lot of tech there, but they also rely on commodities a lot. And the recovery in commodities this year, no doubt, is helping them. So calling a spade, the country's at a new high. Okay, not bad. Okay, is this sustainable given this run? I don't know. It's going to depend on commodity stuff. But you can't, a new high is a new high. Okay, and here's back to the U.S. Okay, obviously big uptrend. Some things I want to point out here is that this move down here, we knew that was coming because the breadth indicators declined. This move down here, we also knew that was coming because the breadth indicators had declined ahead of it. This move down here was also, we also knew those were coming because the breadth indicators told us. This move here, breadth started to weaken a little, but not enough to think that a big move down was coming. This was obviously the virus, and it was an external event. So the lesson here is that all these big moves down, this one, these, we knew about all of them. Like, they were fairly easy to know that there was a big move down coming because the breadth indicators had declined. This one came out of the blue because of the virus. So the lesson here is that unless there's an external event, we're going to know that a top is forming because the breadth indicators are going to tell us. Okay, so if I were to sum everything up, I'd say U.S. is doing fantastic. The rest of the Americas are doing fairly well. Canada and Brazil are at new highs. Asia's doing great. China's breaking out to a new high. South Korea and Japan have already broken out to new highs. Germany's at a new high. France and the UK are lagging a little. So the Americas are doing great. Asia's doing great. Europe's lagging a little. Most of the big economies around the world are doing extremely well. So it's not just a U.S. thing. The entire world is doing well. You cannot be anything but bullish here. Even if the market drops, I'll step aside and I'll get excited because there's going to be like really good buying opportunities. All right, thanks for watching. See you over the weekend with a more formal announcement about the Masterclass.